Chris, it's great to see you. Great to finally get you on. Hey, obviously there was a big fight at Madison Square Garden this weekend just gone. I
Yeah.
actually covered one of your fights at MSG against Andrew Galotta.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's going back a bit. I mean, hey, I remember that fight. People were saying like, "Oh, that's Andrew Galotta might be past his best, and Chris Byrd is just going to outpoint him." But you guys had a war.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. I loved it. Loved it. I promised Don King at that time, right before I walked out, they were booing Freza Kendo and John Ruiz, that fight right before. So right before that, I seen Don King as I was walking out, and I said, "I'm gonna save your show." And he looked at me like, "What? How you gonna save my show?" And I fought like that, and it was a great night, man. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. Well, there's a couple of things about that. I remember the Ruiz Oquendo fight, and that was one of the worst fights I think I've ever seen in 25 years. Um, and like, but it's weird for you to say that you love a fight like that because obviously we didn't know you as that kind of guy.
Oh man, if you were to watch me spar, you would know I was that type of guy. But the heavyweights were so big to where I couldn't sit there and trade with them. So I had to always move. But I would love to just sit there and just go at it, make them miss, bang them out. That's just fun to me.
So
But
why did you do it with Galotta then and not the others? What made that side of you come out that night?
one, because they were booing. Two, he was older. Like he had been through some fights. I know how tough he is, but I knew he was smart. He Olympic bronze medalist, real smart guy. He just mentally he had destroyed himself at the end of the fight. So I said I could take a chance with him. I thought, man, he fought me. He looked at me like I was a small guy.
Yeah,
And when boxers do that, they give me problems. Vladimir Klitschko did the same thing.
yeah, and obviously Galotta just kept coming and coming.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't respect nothing on me. My slip, my defense, my power, nothing. He just kept coming.
Yeah. Hey, so Chris, your dad was obviously a heavyweight. Were you always going to be a fighter? Was that always was that always destined to be your path?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, 5 boys, 3 girls. All the boys box. My sister, one of my sisters was world champion 2 times. So it was in my DNA.
So did you want to go to the gym or were you like told like that's where you're gonna go?
Well, I just wanted to get out of the house. Me and my brother Patrick are the youngest of the 8, and we boxed, and we're a year and a half apart. And either you stay home and do chores, or you got to go to the gym. That's how my mother was. So I rather go to the gym.
And you must have liked it because you had like 285 amateur fights, right?
Yeah, yeah. When I was young, I wasn't that good. I just wanted to go to the gym. I was a chubby kind of kid. My brother Patrick was really good. He modeled himself after Sugar Ray Leonard, so he wanted to be him. But I wasn't good until I was 15. I started when I was 5 years old in the gym. And at 15, I hit a peak where I made it to the finals of the Junior Olympics, which was big at the time, in the silver glove. So and from then on, I was like, okay, I really want to do this. Like, I really love it.
Did you box with the style that we came used to years down the line, or were you different as an amateur?
Wait, what was that? I didn't hear the question.
Did you box with the same style as an amateur? Were you like an elusive southpaw, or did you go in there and have a fight?
I gradually it turned into a style where, I was very elusive. At first, just a normal boxer, touch and go, don't want to get hit. Or at first, you throw a lot when you're like 10 and 11, and then you start forming your style. And then my style started forming when I was in my, mid amateur, like high level amateur stuff. I started looking at a lot of the boxers around the world, the Russians, the Germans, the English, just seeing their styles and putting my style together. I'm like, oh, it's more to boxing than just throwing punches and hitting hard and doing stuff. It's a style. And I'm watching all these different styles from around the world that I'm fighting against in amateur. I'm like, let me put this together. Let me come up with a style that's hard to match and hard to compete against. So I just start forming a style, man, from my international fights.
How hands-on was your father? Obviously, and did he tell you all the war stories of fighting guys like Ron Stander and Ernie Shavers and stuff like that?
Yeah. He always told us that. And it is crazy because him telling the stories when we were young, we're looking at him like, yeah, Pop, okay, whatever. You know, you're like, you hear the stories. And then you grow up, you start meeting, you know, these certain boxers, and you like, wow, he's not lying. They still remember him. Really. So it was pretty cool.
And people don't understand exactly how much of a family affair it is, because even your mum was helping out in the corner sometimes, right?
Oh, sometimes my mother didn't miss she probably missed one of my fights that she wasn't in the corner.
Wow.
My mother always been in the corner since I boxed. From the time I boxed till I retired, my mom been in my corner.
So what was she like then? Would she cuss you out if you were boxing badly and stuff?
My mom, she was the driving force. My father, he was the chill one.
Oh, wow. We don't hear that often.
Oh, my mom, she would get us up to run before school. She made sure we wanted this more than anything. If you don't want it, don't train, don't go to the gym. Don't want this. But if you want it, you put everything into it. And my mom always, whatever you put your mind to, Chris, you could do. I mean, going through Olympics, being a small heavyweight played a big part. She would play a big part, you know, just in my career. Imagine this, having your mother and father in the corner, knowing that their son is a middleweight, but he's fighting a Vitali Klitschko, for instance, where we're just so much apart. And I always thought, I'm like, wow, that's my parents. They know I'm not, you know, the size of these guys. They know I'm not a heavyweight, and they got to go through this stuff. And then my mother, I hear my mother in my ear, hey, you know how hard you work. My father would be talking to me, and my mother is talking to me in my ear. You know how hard you work. You got 3 kids to support. You got a mortgage. You got this. You got that. You got to work your butt off. You know how bad you want this. And that's my mom. Man, she was so important to me. I mean, before every fight, I go into her room, we sit, talk for hours, just, and she'll give me confidence. When I didn't have it, I mean, it was so cool. My father would just be chill. He really never talked. Just, okay, it's boxing.
Wow, that's fascinating. And then, so I was going to ask, you know, what was the dream? Was it to be an Olympian and then go pro? And I suppose that was it. Your path was almost predetermined. Like, the idea was to get to the top of the amateurs and then to turn professional, like from a very young age. That's where you were heading, right?
Yeah, my brother Ronnie was the first one that got to a high level in amateur. And me and my brother Patrick were younger. We seen that, and we're like, man, he's going to training camps. He's rated number 3, 4 in the nation. He's traveling. He's doing stuff. We want to live that life. He's traveling, and boom, at 17, at 15 actually traveling, but at 17, I'm really traveling. I'm doing stuff, and then from then on, it's the sky's the limit. I was in Olympic trials in 1988. I was 17 years old, made to Olympic trials. And then my goal was Olympics, 1992, 4 years later. And sure enough, I hit the dream, made the Olympics. So I was, you know, very, very excited.
And that was a hell of a team. I mean, I think there have been some underrated US teams since, with this thing about like, oh, you know, the US doesn't produce great teams anymore. I think, you know, you can say that, you know, with some cycles, there've been some good teams and some not so good teams, but you had a hell of a team. You had Timmy Austin, Oscar, Vernon Forrest, Raul Marquez, Larry Donald, Darnell Nicholson. Were you close to any of them in particular? And you still in touch with any of those guys?
I was close to all of them. You know, I we rarely talk to Oscar De La Hoya. Like, he's so busy, he's doing stuff. But when we see each other, it's first thing we all do is laugh. We just start laughing because we know, prior to the Olympics, 4 years before that, we traveled the world. It's like we're brothers. We fight. We love each other. So, well, I knew all the guys. I mean, I still stay in touch with probably 10 of the 12 guys I stay in touch with. Just talk to here and there, and it's been good.
We mentioned obviously how close you are to your family. Obviously, back then in Barcelona in that year, obviously Oscar became a household name for winning the medal in his mother's name. Were you aware of the what was going on behind the scenes with Oscar around then?
Oh, definitely, man. We were all like brothers at the time, man. We traveling, like I said, we're traveling together. We're constantly traveling together everywhere because we were the number one guys in the country in our weight class. So we just, especially in 1991, prior to the Olympics, we traveled everywhere. So we got really close, like all the number one guys in their weight class. And Oscar was one of them. So he was just one of the guys with Raul Marquez, Vernon Forrest, Tim Austin, with Shane, even Shane Mosley. All these guys are in the mix also, trying to make the Olympics. We're all right there. So it's just a bunch of guys, man, that, we had a dream and we still stay in touch. A lot of guys stay in touch. So it's been good.
In the first round there in Barcelona, you beat Britain's Mark Edwards. And Mark said at the time, he said this: the punches weren't hurting, but there were a lot of them. I couldn't get near him. It was kind of like a foreshadowing of your professional career, really, throwing a lot of punches and no one able to really get near you in response.
Yeah. Yeah. Olympics, I turned it up. I turned it up big time. I used to play around so much. I had a lot of international fights. I was always in the mix in my weight class in the world, but never really won anything. But they knew I could fight. But I played around. I would always sneak out, go to clubs. I always did it. It was like an addiction. I had to sneak out to see if I can get away with it. And it started with my first training camp. And so I'm always at the clubs. I'm always staying up late. Like if we would fight the next day on an international fight, we fight at 6 o'clock. I'm going to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm coming in and having fun and with certain guys. And then at the Olympics, I said, forget that. I made the Olympics. I'm going to take it serious. Forget that. I'm not going to sneak out. I'm not going to party. I never drank or smoke. So that's one good thing. But I love going to, just going out, hanging, meeting girls, all that stuff. I love doing that. And I complained. I was completely focused on, okay, I'll win a medal. Because my girlfriend at the time, who was later my wife, she was pregnant. And I'm like, oh, I got a baby on the way, man. This Olympics is important. If I win a medal, I'm gonna secure my life. So I was very serious and I did very well.
By the way, your dad said after that first fight, he said this, right? He said, I'm not nervous for him because he's my son. If he loses, it just means he's out of the tournament. I've got plenty of other boxers. That's kind of brutal, but also kind of, I kind of see where you're saying about him being kind of chill. Like if you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. But that sounds kind of brutal. Where he's saying, because you're his son, and he's saying, I've got other guys.
Yeah, no, he's always been like that. Like we would have 30 kids in the gym, and he would say, "Hey, you're all my sons, all my sons and daughters. Y'all the same. I'm not gonna favor one over the other." So I'm like, really? Yeah, I'm your real son. But he loved us all. He wanted 12 gold medals, and that was the first Olympics where we had a computer scoring. So it really messed us up. It was like the worst Olympics for US ever, but it was computer scoring. A lot of the judges never even used a computer before. So and this is our life.
Yeah, sure. Sure. And then you beat the Algerian, and it's quite funny. I noticed in this you picked up a warning for sticking your tongue out.
Yeah.
And then you said, if I can make this guy miss, that's all the fun in the world. That's you sort of trying to justify you were just having fun in there. So even though there was high pressure, you were still enjoying it.
Having so much fun, man. This I'm on a world stage. This is the Olympics, my dream. So I was just having a lot of fun.
And you beat Canada's Chris Johnson. He'd beaten you twice already by that point, though. So what was different? Why did you beat him? You beat him 17-3, so that's quite a big turnaround, right?
Yeah, I beat his butt. Yeah, Chris, we've been friends. He whooped my butt when I was 15 years old. I came back from the Junior Olympics. I made it to the finals, and they had a show fight not too far from my city. So my father was like, "Okay, we have a show fight up there." I thought it was like some low-level kids, and I wasn't really training. I was like, "Okay, I'll fight." And it's this kid, Chris Johnson. It's Canada. And Canada don't come to U.S. amateur fights rarely. They rarely come. I'll fight him. And he beat my butt, broke my nose. I mean, beat me up, 15. I'm like, who is this kid? We fight again, 1991, U.S. versus Canada. I got him back really good, but they gave it to him. They gave it to him because my brother fought his brother the fight before, and they gave it to my brother. My brother really lost, but they gave it to him. So I got the same last name. I get robbed. I was like, okay, if we meet up in the Olympics, I'm getting you. And sure enough, his mother's screaming, my mother's screaming. Two mothers screaming, both of us named Chris. And I beat his butt. I whooped you. I tell him that to this day. We good friends.
That's brilliant. What a rivalry, hey, over three different fights. Hey,
Yeah.
you lost to the Cuban, Ariel Hernandez. Were you content with that performance and with taking home the medal that you took home the silver? Like, was that no?
Not at all. I was devastated. Matter of fact, after I beat Chris Johnson, all the officials came together and came up to me and said, in your fight, in the final, you win, you're the outstanding boxer of the tournament. Outstanding boxer. I almost cried when they told me that. Because all I thought about was the 76 Olympics and that was Sugar Ray Leonard's Olympics. But Howard Davis won the outstanding boxer. And I met Sugar Ray Leonard when I was 6 years old. He inspired me about the Olympics. And I'm thinking, man, I'm the best fighter pound for pound in the world. Really? That's how great my Olympics was. I mean, I put on a defensive performance off the ropes, middle of the ring, hand speed. I mean, I was killing it. And then get to the finals. They prepared for me so much. I got to give the Cubans credit. They watched me. They knew what to do. They moved. They knew I liked laying on the ropes, making you miss. Now they got me coming, being the matador coming at them. So it was a close fight. 1-1 after the first round, 4-4 after the second. And the devastation. Up until I was 47 years old, I had a problem with this. I mean, I would break down and cry. I lose 12-7. 1-1 after the first, 4-4 after the second. The fight could have went either way. And as soon as the fight was over, I was like, we both didn't know who won. And then I looked at Vernon Forrest because he could look he was looking over the judges and looking at the screen. And I looked at his face and it said everything. I started crying right there.
Wow, that's heavy stuff. Oh, so only you, Oscar, and Timmy Austin medaled in the end from that team, which was, like I said, a good team on paper. But it was obviously, it's tough going, obviously, to get to the Olympics. And like you said, we're talking here about all the politics that someone faces and teams face and stuff. It's that quite often the best guys don't win. Ask Roy Jones from '98, right? That's the previous games.
Yeah.
Did you have good offers to turn pro once you were done? You know, with that medal, was that the bargaining chip you'd hoped it would be?
Well, I got the medal, and I thought that was it. Well, the silver medal, but no offers, not one. Devastated. I mean, I was devastated. It still hits me. Like, I'm like, really? I had a great Olympics. And then I don't get signed afterwards by nobody. Not even mentioned, forgotten about. Matter of fact, when they bring up a silver medalist, they put somebody else's name on our team that won the medal. I'm like, really? That kind of disrespect for years. So out of depression, I was cutting grass with my brother. He had a side lawn business. And I said, I'm going to heavyweight. It was a joke. It was really a joke. Like, it was even a joke to me. I'm like, heavyweight, but I'm going. I borrowed money. I had no money. I had nothing after the Olympics. I started borrowing money from my brother, from my mother, father, from everybody, buying supplements like protein. I didn't know anything about lifting weight, just to put weight on. I'm gonna shock the world. I'm gonna fight at heavyweight. That was my whole thought. I don't know when I'm gonna fight. I don't know how I'm gonna get to heavyweight, because I gotta put on weight. I've never been big in my life. And sure enough, I started adding the weight, and my brother go out one day and ask some people in our city for some money, and they said, hey, we got a promotion. We can help you out. We'll start a promotion, and it helped me out.
Geez, that's literally heartbreaking. Like, that's really sad. Like, I've heard some sad stories during this podcast, but that is up there. Like, to come back and you know feel like you're almost on top of the world, and then really you're kind of at rock bottom, starting afresh.
Rock bottom. Yes, I started in a nightclub. I didn't get paid my first two fights. We had two nondescript fights before I even started fighting. Then I started fighting at heavyweight, my third fight, and I made $600.
Yeah, so you were 169 pounds, so a pound over super middleweight when you turned pro. And then obviously you said there you're 193 pounds for fight number 3, and then more than 200 pounds later that year. So obviously you talk about taking the supplements, the protein and all the rest of it. Did the weight come on easily, or was it a struggle? Did you have to, we talk about fighters making weight and having to lose weight, and it's being really hard. Was it as hard going the other way and eating all the stuff?
It's the same. I lost weight. I cut weight before, plenty of weight, and now try to keep weight on. You can't. I'm a small boned guy trying to fight at heavyweight. I'm walking around. I'm fighting Vladimir Klitschko. I'm walking around at 197 pounds 2 weeks before the fight. 197 pounds. So that was every fight for me. I'm just engorging all this junk food. Just, oh man, I trashed my body big time. But I wanted to be a heavyweight.
But you still had an engine that other fighters couldn't match. And I remember, so Boxing News, in their report of your fight with Lionel Butler, said he ran out of gas chasing you and basically just dropped to the floor.
Yeah. But honestly, and I'll keep it, I'm not trying to get sympathy or saying that it was, my body was, I went to the hospital probably 12 or 13 times straight after each fight. I would go to the hospital. If you watch my fight with Jimmy Thunder on HBO, my first HBO fight, they rushed me to the hospital I was a co-main event. It was Tim Witherspoon and Larry Donald, the main event. They rushed me to the hospital right before the fight. I would fall out. I had all kind of problems. I'll break out in hives. I had extreme fatigue. I mean, the worst. My son has the same problem. The food, the chemicals in the food, I'm very sensitive. it was killing me my whole career, and I never knew it until right before I fought Evander Holyfield. I met a doctor that changed everything for me.
Were you popular at home? I mean, there was an early fight where you fought in front of like 10,000 fans at Auburn Hills. And I think after that fight, you started to call out the Riddick Bowe's and Mike Tyson's, the guys that were nearing the end of their career. Were you well received at home, or was it tough going from the start with tickets and everything else?
Very tough. Come from Flint, Michigan, small, not a, it's a lower middle class, kind of city. So they really didn't, man, they really, until I won a world title, the second time I fought because I fought Evander Holyfield, he was famous. But not until then, nobody really and I come from a small city, like it's 100,000, and we're popular. I'm Olympian, everything. I couldn't fill a arena up in my own hometown, and the arena is only 5,000 seats.
Wow.
I couldn't fill that up. I'm like, really? Never, not a boxing town.
That's crazy. You scored win number 21 against an old friend of mine, Smoking Burt Cooper, who I knew from Derby, Pennsylvania. Boxing News said that he caught you to the body a few times. What was Smoking Burt like? He could be hit or miss.
Yeah, he came in shape, put like that. So his manager told me, "Hey, we giving you a go this time." I mean, he was being real right before the fight. I knew him. So he said, "Hey, we trained for you. We're gonna give you a go." We were in camp for 5 weeks strictly for you. I had him in camp. So it should be he gonna give you a go. And you worry about a guy like Byrd Cooper because he can punch, like natural power. And you can't underestimate him. You'll know which one gonna come. So I seen him in shape. I'm like, he coming. I know he coming for a knockout. So I got to be real tricky and just frustrate him and make sure I stay on point. And I did. It was a lot of fun. Man could punch though, and he was very tough.
Yeah, Burt was no joke when he was in shape, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you'll probably like this. Boxing News called you a heavyweight version of Michael Nunn after that. Yeah. Like that?
Yeah, they that's old though. Like after I won my quarterfinal fight in the Olympics, Pernell Whitaker and Evander Holyfield came up to me at the Olympics in Barcelona and said, "Man, you Michael Nunn." I sparred against the French team, 1991. I still remember the French team. We were getting ready to go to Italy. They were going to the World Championships in Australia. I sparred one of their guys. The whole team came up to me. "Man, you're Michael Nunn." Everybody kept saying, "Michael Nunn, you're Michael Nunn." Michael Nunn was good. He was really good. So it was an honor to be compared to Michael Nunn. It's a great honor.
Hey, you mentioned the Jimmy Thunder fight. So do you remember the jab stats for that fight? Do you remember them off the top of your head or not?
No, I don't.
So you outlanded him for jabs 132-3.
Wow.
Which kind of shows how you knew how to play the game. That was the game you had to play with your size and skills. It's what you had to do.
Yeah.
The main event that night, you said Larry Donald, Tim Witherspoon, and the Boxing News report actually does say that you fainted ringside that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was actually in the locker room. It was in my locker room. I fell out and they rushed me to the hospital.
And Roy Jones on the broadcast was commentating. He said that you were adding power to your game, but said none of the big guys can hit you because they want to kill you. And you were frustrating them all that badly. They just wanted to take your head off and they couldn't hit you.
Oh yeah.
But like you did get this steady flow of negative stuff in your fight reports where people would say like you prodded or you poked or it was pity pat or pecking with punches? Like, did all that stuff bother you?
Yeah, it did, because they don't know where I came from. Like, in boxing, like if you talk to like the high level fighters that understand boxing, not heavyweights, the smaller guys, they'll go, "You're crazy. Nobody does this. Who goes to heavyweight and you're a skinny middleweight?" So it bothered me, because I wasn't a punching power guy at middleweight in amateur. So how am I a puncher now? Y'all just don't understand. I'm not a heavyweight. That's why I wanted to keep telling people I'm not a heavyweight. I got pushed into this situation. So I used to get so angry, like, and hurt, like, really, I'm beating these guys easy. I'm having fun, but I know I don't have the power. And I know this is like the Mike Tyson era of the bang them out, but I'm more like Muhammad Ali in the Tyson era. And I couldn't win, man, at all. And then now people appreciate me. It's crazy. It's over. They start saying, "Oh man, you did a great feat at heavyweight." I'm like, man, where was that when I was fighting at heavyweight?
Yeah, no, I understand that. So you took the unbeaten record of Alicia Castillo and then you moved from main events to Cedric. How did that come about?
Nobody wanted to fight me. So main events was like, nobody want to fight you. We can't do nothing. We can't even get you fights. I had the worst career. I wouldn't say worst career, but I had the hardest time getting fights. Just getting started fighting. But then now, no heavyweight want to fight me. Not one. I don't care what any heavyweight say in this era. And this was the boom of heavyweight era, the big guys coming in. Not one heavyweight, not one. So when they say, "Oh, I did this," I would have fought him. No, you wouldn't. You would have fought me. That's why Vladimir and Vitali Klitschko, I give them all the credit in the world. They fought me. They had to fight me, but they fought me.
And it's because you fell into that high risk, low reward category, right? Because, you know, if anyone beat you back then, it would be like, well, you beat a blown up middleweight. And if they lose, then they lose. And there's, you know, where do they go from that?
Well, not really. At first it was like that, but I started beating all these fringe contender heavyweights on USA Tuesday Night Fights. And now it's getting more and more where no. I mean, you talk about being avoided. I didn't know who I was fighting on USA Tuesday Night Fights. I fought there 13 times, and probably 10 of the times I fought there, I didn't know who I was fighting until the Monday before that Tuesday I fought. The Monday, I didn't know who I was fighting, because they keep pulling out, everybody pulling out. I'm like, dang, really? I'm like, these heavyweights are cowards.
Do you have any good Cedric Kushner stories?
Let me see. What this Cedric do? What? Well, him not coming to the weigh-in press conference, nothing when I fought Vitaly Klitschko. Matter of fact, I didn't see Cedric until I won. He was in the ring. I'm like,
where's he?
What are you doing here? He just knew I was going to get destroyed. But it didn't work out like that. So he popped up. But no, not really.
That's
I didn't hang around too much.
Going into your fight with Ike Iabuchi, he was in trouble with the law. Surprise. Were you aware of that stuff going into your fight with him?
Oh, man. I was so aware of it. So before Ike, I got stories, man. So before, I was so confident before I told Max Kellerman, I said, he's not going to hit me. He's too slow. He's too big, too slow. And 3 weeks before the fight, boom, separated rib. My brother Joe hit me. I tell the truth. I mean, if guys knock me out, they beat me. Oh, well. So separated rib. I'm like, dang it, nothing I could do for it. Now, this is 1997. So I didn't want to, I didn't want nobody to say I'm on steroids. I didn't want to get a shot. I didn't do nothing. So I'm like, dang it. I'm fighting. Me and my wife argue like crazy. Why you stupid? You crazy. I was like, nobody want to fight me. I gotta fight Ike. I gotta fight him. Fighting with a separated rib. I weighed 208 pounds. He was 244 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilo, but humongous difference. I took the risk. I was like, forget that. I'm fighting them. And I'm doing my thing. I mean, I wasn't thinking about my hurt rib or nothing. Got hit with a shot. I mean, I was so confident and cocky. But before that injury, I was on a whole nother level mentally. Like you're not gonna beat me. That's how I thought at that time. I was 26-0. I felt you won't touch me. He's too slow. He's never gonna hit me.
How good was Ike?
Good. I mean, he's undefeated at the time. You know, he beat me 21-0, like 15, 16 knockouts. He was good, but I'm not gonna say he was going to be the future of the division. Who knows?
Yeah.
It was so many heavyweights at that time. I mean, so many. It was heavyweight explosion. I'm on a magazine. I think it was Boxing KO, and it was over 100 heavyweights in that article. 100 heavyweights, and over 100 heavyweights. So it was just a heavyweight explosion of heavyweights that just coming up fighting. Who knows? You got guys like Andrew Galotta, Michael Grant, David Tua in that era. They didn't win a world title.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Ike would have. Who knows? You got these great guys. They didn't win one. And if Ike maybe would have won world title, maybe not. But he was good. But he was a heavyweight that hit me with one punch. I weigh 208 pounds. So it's not like, but he got a lot of publicity after that. Man, best heavyweight in the world. He's going to take over. Because he beat a small guy they criticized. They always criticize me, but now he's the best in the world. And I'm thinking, wow, y'all must have thought a lot of me, but didn't give me no credit for it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And I mean, just with Ike, obviously, you were the last guy to fight him.
Yeah.
That's crazy, crazy story. There was speculation, by the way, about the finances of that fight, that the money had been agreed and then 50,000 of your money was added to Ibeabuchi's purse and all that. There was loads of politics going on, right?
Man, I got shafted a lot.
Yeah, it seems like a common theme. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get fights, man. And I'm blessed to start off at $600, making $600 a fight. Now I can make like 150,000. I'm thinking, man, and they can take money. I just want to fight. I want to prove that I'm the best. If I can prove that I'm the best, I'll make money.
And you were right in terms of what people were saying after the fight. After that fight, people were saying Ike's the new Sonny Liston, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, big time. Big time. He was the man.
That was a huge left hook. Technically, it didn't technically end the fight, but you didn't seem to recover from that left hook, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was bugged. Ike is a humongous puncher.
Is he? Obviously, you've boxed all these guys and all these big names and the guys you sparred. Is Ike up right near the top of that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ike, right, man, 244 pounds, all pure muscle, like coming at you with a great chin, with power. I mean, he's right at the top of the list, like one of the guys. Not saying, I'm not saying he would have won a title or not won a title. I mean, who knows? But he's been one of the top guys that, vying for the heavyweight title, definitely.
Was there part of you that thought, well, I've taken the L here, but now maybe people are going to want to fight me finally?
I thought about that a little bit later. When you first took that's my first, it was my first loss. So I thought I was invincible. And I was devastated. I just wanted the rematch real bad. I was like, come on, man, let's do this again. No, I want to do this again. And then I knew I wasn't going to get the rematch. So then I started looking at the loss like, man, I gotta do things a little different. Man, I can't be so over confident and cocky going into these fights now. You gotta respect the power. Because when I first went to heavyweight, I respect the power so much. I was safety first. I'm moving everywhere. I'm just moving. And then it starts slowing down a little bit more. You get comfortable. And then boom, you hit with that big shot. You start thinking again. You're like, oh, I got to go back to safety first. But then you go back into the pattern of you stand there and trade a little bit more, and you get a little older. You slow down a little bit more. So things came about. But I was devastated after that loss, man.
Did you ever hear from Mike again? Did you reach out to him, or did he reach out to you at all, or was that was it all over?
Man, he went to prison right after that.
Yeah, but in prison, he never reached out to you or
Nothing.
anything like that.
Nothing.
No. You won 4 on the bounce after that, including a win over Jose Ribalta, and then you were in Germany to face another undefeated big man in Vitali. How confident were you going over there to fight Vitali?
Not at all.
I wasn't ready for that.
Not at all. You talking confident? I'm a real guy, man. I never seen him fight. So I never seen him fight. He's 27-0 with 27 knockouts. Never seen him fight. I'm like, man, he got all knockouts.
And also, you came in as a short notice replacement for Razor Ruddock, right?
10 days.
Yeah, yep.
10 days. So after Ika Beabuchi loss, I'm like, okay, man. Yeah, I guess I'd take it. Because who went? I'm 26-0 at the time before I lose. Who want to take another L? I'm like, I just lost. That's devastating. Now I may lose again. Oh my goodness, no. I mean, I'm thinking all this stuff. I'm thinking, I got to go redeem myself. I got to do something. And I take the fight, go over there, and wow, what a whirlwind! And that was a major experience. That was my first guy that was very talented. That was over 6'5".
Okay.
Wow. It was a challenge, but you got to do it.
And people have talked to me about Vitali's power before, like it's a really horrible, hurtful power. Did you feel that in there, or did you stay out of the way?
I must have stayed out of the way because I didn't feel it like it was like that crazy power. Like I felt some power just in sparring, and you're like, man, that dude hit hard. But I didn't feel like that.
Wow. Okay. And then obviously, one thing I should say is you were in shape because you've been due to fight Adolfo Washington, right, on the same night. So you were training, and America Presents actually wanted you to go through with that one instead. I think but you wanted the Vitali one.
Yeah, you're like, wait, a world title fight or a small fight? Like it wasn't a tune-up fight. I'm fighting Lawrence Claybay, but this was much bigger. WBO World Heavyweight title? No, I'll take this.
It's funny, Chris. Like I'm genuinely a bit sad for you, like talking about your career, because now I'm about to ask you about Vitali, right? And the world turned on Vitali because obviously his shoulder, and I think HBO were really pretty heavy on him as well, right? But like, it's on one of your big nights, everyone's talking about how bad the other guy was and him quitting and stuff, and you didn't even get the limelight for winning the world heavyweight title in Germany against an unbeaten Klitschko.
Not even a little bit. I got criticized more than being world champion. Nobody respected me. I'm like, really? The boxers did, but the people in the high levels, in boxing. Nobody didn't give me any credit. I'm like, really? But the fighter's like, man, how you do that? And I'm like, think about this. I'm the first guy, I'm the smallest guy he fought at heavyweight. How did I get to the 10th round? Nobody give me credit for that. How did I get? Nobody else got to that far before ever. I'm the smallest guy, and he quits in the 10th round.
Yeah.
So that makes, why would you quit? See, it's oh man. But stuff happens.
I know it's a very different playing field now, but obviously you see with what Vitali's doing in Ukraine now, with the war and stuff. It's amazing now to think people question his heart in boxing, because this is really the ultimate test for a man. The thing that he's doing and standing and fighting for his country. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal show of courage. What did you think about the shoulder thing then with him? It was just bad luck. Do you think he should have fought on, or what?
Hey, everybody's different. Every man is different, in person. For me personally, I know I'm winning. I'm gonna quit. With a couple rounds ago, I'm not quitting. I die. Watch my fight with his brother Vladimir next fight. I die in the ring. That's just me. I mean, he battered me. I'm not gonna quit. I don't quit. I don't care.
I suppose the thing with Vitali is when he fought Lennox, he could have quit, couldn't he, because of the cuts? But you could see that maybe he'd learned, and he was thinking like the shame that he'd felt from the loss with the shoulder. He thought, there's no way I'm going through that again, and I'm going to fight until the end.
Have to, because now you're a major quitter. And I seen that man. He fought Corey Sanders. He's a tougher guy. He's a tough guy.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Toughness is one thing in fighting, but when you're missing, that's a totally different toughness. It's a frustration. It's an embarrassment. It's hard. And that's why, like, when I say defense first and I make you miss and I get into your mind and make you start thinking when you boxing, if you're 27-0 with 27 knockouts and you're dominating all your fights, and now you got the smallest guy in the division giving you problems, really? And he's not quitting? It's your first HBO fight. You just signed with HBO, your first one. It's supposed to be a come out fight for you, for the world to see, for the especially US market. It didn't happen like that. But the stuff happens, and it was a while ago. Stuff happens, and I let all that stuff die now, man. I'm like, I was just that was a life of boxing, life ago, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
Hey, on the plus side for you hit the deck, and you were in tears as you celebrated. And so it must have meant an awful lot. Like, why the tears? Was it the fact that you've been written off, you've been condemned, and all the rest of it, and now that you had the world champion, you were sitting pretty?
Yeah, my brother was the first one in the ring and hugging me. Me and him started a nightclub. All I thought about was the nightclub. That's all I thought. I was like, really? I'm world champion. I came from a nightclub, man. Y'all don't understand. $600 at a nightclub, man. I'm like, really? I'm world champion? Nothing better.
That's so good. But 6 months later, you were back in Germany. You mentioned Vladimir there. Like, did you have to go back? Was that contractual, or was that just they paid that's where the money was?
Contractual. I didn't even own the rights to be a world champion. They're my promoters now. Right. So I always say, so if Vitali would have won, he would have fought Vladimir next year. So he'd have been his brother's mandatory. Because he was, all of a sudden, he's my mandatory. I'm like, really? I'm fighting a brother now? Yeah, they wanted that belt back bad, and they got it.
Obviously, you fought both Was Vladimir the better of the two brothers?
For me, I honestly, as I watch their careers and watch, them fighting certain guys, I'm a small heavyweight. Am I a threat to Vladimir? No, not really. He's a huge guy, much bigger, much stronger, understanding boxing, Olympic gold medalist. So he understands boxing, has a smart trainer. So make him fight you. That's the smartest thing Emmanuel Stewart could have did. And that's the second fight. In his first fight, they had a great game plan with his first coach. Make him fight you. I don't come forward. Now I got to come forward. I don't come forward. I want you to come at me. And they had a great game plan.
What was the difference between the two brothers? Was it because Vitali was like, meant to be the slower but maybe more violent of the two, and Vladimir was more thoughtful and more perhaps technical in the ring?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's close to what you're saying. Vitali he take chances, more violent, go at you. He couldn't fight me the same way, like he'd fight everybody else. Vitali couldn't. Vladimir, slow it down, very strong. Start thinking, slow it down. You don't rush yourself. Wait. Vladimir has a great jab, accurate. Use a jab to set up everything. Use your height and reach to keep the distance. He's a small guy. What are you gonna do? Overpower you? He can't. So the jab keeps me at bay. The right hand keeps me very honest. But the jab, him steering it in front of my face, I'm like, they onto something. And he'll take just a little step back, keep the distance. Man, he had me off balance so bad. It was a smart tactic, but it was great because it worked against me. You don't throw against guys that are slick. That's a rule in boxing. A lot of coaches don't even know this. They throw it at a guy that's throwing punches. No, you don't constantly throw. You got to think your way through how you want to throw it. I want you to throw. That's what I want you to do. I want to make you miss. Yeah. So the more you throw, advantage me. But the less you throw, now it's like, now we got a thinking game. And Vlad, he selected his punches very well in both fights. In both fights, I fought him. He fought very well.
By the way, instead of fighting Vladimir, you actually wanted the winner of Lennox and David Tua, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Lennox was in your career, is Lennox the one that got away?
It is two in my career. Lennox, Roy Jones. I wanted to fight Roy Jones. Love Roy Jones. The most talented in our era. Wanted to fight Roy Jones. And those two got away. And Lennox, at the time I wanted to fight him, I did anything to fight him. I was ready for him.
Well, when you beat David Tua, you beat him over 12. You said that you felt you'd hurt him a few times in the fight, and he said that you had good power, which is nice, right?
Yeah. I throw good body shots.
Okay. But David's another one. He ran out of ideas against you, right? He was kind of. Would you say that David was a bit one-dimensional, or is that an insult?
Yeah, I mean, one-dimensional. You can say it. His hook, but
can you put him up with the Ibeabuchi and Vitali with the punches that you faced or not?
What? Oh my goodness! That he's at the top of the list.
Who, Tua?
Much respect for David Tua, man. That was the heavyweight nightmare when you bring up David Tua. Everybody know, because you don't know. He carries power for 12 rounds, which is very scary.
Yeah, sure.
That's just scary. You knock you on the first round, knock you on the 12th, so you gotta wait.
By this point, obviously, you've been a champ and you're fighting top line guys, and you've become a name. Is it no longer frustrating being Chris Byrd, or is it still kind of tough?
Wait, I didn't understand that question.
So by this point, you've been a world champion. you've got
Yeah.
a name for yourself, and you're having high profile fights. So you fought, Mo Harris, you fought David Tua, and you were about to fight Evander Holyfield. Or was Evander Holyfield the one that really sort of meant there was no going back to being what you were before in terms of levels of fame and celebrity? Like, was the Evander Holyfield the one that took your name as Chris Byrd to the next level?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, it was fight Vitali on HBO. It takes your name with a little controversy. You got a little bit of name in boxing, but you fighting Evander Holyfield, especially after him beating Hasim Rahman to get to that spot, it was huge for me because when I came to heavyweight, the big three, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, and my favorite, Mike Tyson. That's all I wanted to fight. He's my favorite. And get a chance to fight one of the big three, Evander Holyfield, that summed it up. That's my boxing, literally my boxing career. I fought Evander Holyfield.
And Evander weighed 220, you weighed 214, so he wasn't one of the giants.
Yeah. Yeah, and we both were big for a fight. That's actually big for him and big for me.
Going into that, were you confident of beating Holyfield? You said obviously you've been quite clear. Some fights you've been confident, some you haven't been. Were you confident against Evander?
Yeah, I understand styles. I didn't know he punched that hard though. That's one thing I didn't know. He punched real hard. I'm like, dang, he punched harder than I thought. But just the style. Like I wish I could have fought Evander Holyfield when he was in his prime. Like prime Holyfield. Oh man, let's see if he can really hit me. Like everybody prime. I want to see like Mike Tyson prime, that pit bull coming at you. Oh, let me see if he can really hit me. If he can hit me and take me out. And if he can, more power to him. He's a great fighter. He caught me. Hey, great fighter. But if he can't, I'm gonna have a lot of fun.
For skills, do you put Riddick Bowe up with those guys?
Oh man, Riddick Bowe, he's right. Riddick Bowe, that new era, he's the big era. So I look at Riddick just different. When I told Riddick, I said, "You're 6'5", you fight Vander Holyfield. Why are you fighting in the trenches? Yeah. You're a big guy. Box, use that big arrow." But Riddick, man, I think he could actually probably defeat at any given night any heavyweight ever in boxing, any heavyweight champion ever, because he had the skill, the size, the power, he had everything. Yeah. So, when you got that kind of size, you can fight anybody.
Hey, about your fight with Evander in Atlantic City, one boxing journalist said Holyfield may have lost before, but never has he been trounced like this. That's a big deal, right? To say that you're the most definitive victor over Holyfield in his career.
Yeah, it was the way, because it was I have a little bit of talent, so my talent came through with Evander. I did a lot of good, just shut down stuff that certain people see. That was pretty good.
Was Evander a dirty fighter? He's got his reputation with a head and everything else.
I just laugh about that because the referee had to break up, so that he used that head. He's smart. I just say that he's very smart, intelligent guy in the ring.
So the stats say that you threw 747 punches to his 344. So you were far more active. And hey, to get up there towards 1,000 punches in a heavyweight title fight, that's big. That's big business, isn't it? You then beat Freza Quendo, and then Don King plucked Galotta out of nowhere to fight you in the garden, which we talked about. So you said about what you thought of Galotta going into that fight as a fighter, and you thought like maybe he didn't have the engine to do it, to go as far as he did. He also had this thing with discipline. Like,
Yeah.
did you think this guy's a little bit crazy? Like, I don't know what he's gonna do.
Oh yeah, always. But see, my young heavyweight days, I always wanted to fight Andrew and David Tua. They were the top guys. They were the hot guys. Main events had them. They were so popular, and I'm like, no, I'm the best guy. I want to fight Andrew Galotta. I want to fight David Tua, and getting that chance to fight him, knowing, see, I know boxing pretty good. I've been in this sport a long time. I don't look at guys like you're washed up. No, I watch you. I understand. This is a world title fight. Nobody gonna be washed up in a world title fight. They're gonna come with their best. And he came with his best. I mean, very determined. Andrew looked at me like Vladimir looked at me, a small guy. How's he gonna beat me? Just walk him down. He can move, do all that stuff, but if I could stay patient, which is big, and walk him down and make him fight me, I can make him fight. And plus, what I told Don King beforehand, I'm gonna save your show. So with that, it made the fight even more exciting.
How was your relationship with Don over the years?
Just by the laugh to tell you. Oh wow. Don King, wow. It was very interesting. Like my ex-wife would say, he's an evil genius. An evil genius. And he is. He's that guy. I mean, he was fun to be around him, just hearing stories and stuff, but at the same time, when it comes to business, it was pretty rough.
There was, I mean, after that fight, you were talking about, so Mike Tyson was in the crowd that night, and you said that you'd like to fight Mike back in the day. You said he's a pit bull, and now we're fighting in the same division. Did you and he ever talk about it? Was that ever close to being on the cards?
Never.
No. Because is that because you were with Don then?
Yeah, but an older Mike Tyson. You know, when you look at Mike Tyson, he was young when he won the world title, young when he did a lot of stuff. Now he's a little older. He wasn't gonna fight me. Not at that time. After he see me fight a banner like that and they're older, and you think he'll fight me? No. Even Mike Tyson came after I fought Andrew Galotta. We fought to a draw. And in the back, when I was going to the locker room, guess who I bumped into in the back? Mike Tyson. And he's telling me how good I am after a draw. I'm like, what? You do all these tricks, you can make a miss, you can fight, you're just a good heavyweight. I'm like, but it was a draw. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's a big compliment after having a draw. And Mike Tyson telling you how good you are. I'm like, and my favorite, and he's one of my favorite fighters. That always made me want to cry now.
But people were entertained, man. That was one of the most underrated heavyweight fights going. You and Galotta. You know, it was a proper war, and you know it came out of nowhere. Hey, you then fought one of the other small guys, Jamil McLean. It's not getting any easier, is it? It's not getting any easier. You know, he's an absolute giant, obviously. And then Devarel Williamson. So to a couple of defenses of your IBF title, were those financially fruitful fights to defend your IBF title, or was it, you know, because they weren't the big names, then it wasn't?
It's crazy with both the guys, Devarel and Jamil. Both of them very, very good friends. I mean, at the time, we were like very, very close. Matter of fact, when I fought Jamil, my wife and his wife were sitting together holding hands.
Wow.
Holding hands. So we were very close. I got a great story with Jamil. Don King did this, by the way. He did all this stuff on purpose. I lived across the street from Don King at one point. Jamil comes over my house. I take him over to Don King's house so they can, you may do a deal, do something. And they talk, do stuff. Next thing you know, I'm fighting Jamil. I'm like, what? DeVero Williamson, the same thing. Same thing. Take him over there. I'm fighting DeVero. Next fight, he wasn't even my mandatory. Neither one. Jamil wasn't my mandatory. Now I'm fighting my close friends. It was. I'm like, I must have did something really bad. I didn't do nothing. But I'm like, why am I fighting my close friends now that I brought over to your house?
Wow.
It was.
That's crazy. And then you went back to Germany to fight Vladimir. So I'm guessing that you weren't overly confident when you went back there.
When I went back to fight Vladimir, man, I don't never want to seem like you making some kind of excuses for this. It's boxing. If stuff happened, it happened. The first time I fought Vladimir, when you watch the first 4 rounds, we don't even throw nobody hit and landed no punches. Nobody. I mean, it's like tactical. You're like, oh, he's not really landed nothing. If he did land something, it wasn't nothing substantial. And my eyes swelled up. Why is my eyes swelling? My eyes were closed, literally closed. When I came home on the plane, the flight attendant started crying. She cried because she was the flight attendant that was, when I flew over, she was the same flight attendant. She cried. She was like, gosh. I'm like, really? So I say something about it. The second time I go over there, now I got a gag over it. You can't talk about nothing. You can't do it. I'm like, really? This is boxing, man. People got lives are on the line. If you cheating, why? I never understood that. How dangerous this sport is. So, it's.
So you went over there thinking that the deck was stacked against you, even though you were the champ.
Deck stacked, man, disrespected. They put me in my father had to fight with the promoter, with all the people. I'm the champion, but I'm at the Challenger Hotel. I gotta walk everywhere to go train everything where Vladimir is staying, where the gym is, wherever. I'm like, and I'm the champion. So, stuff like that happens, man. You go over there, I'm going into hostile territory. They want their belt back. So, stuff happens. I'm fighting a great fighter. It's not like I'm fighting somebody that can't fight. I'm fighting somebody that's really good.
Yeah. And then a couple of fights later, you were back in Germany for Povetkin. He was 13-0 at the time. What did you think about Povetkin? Obviously, he wasn't a monstrously big heavyweight. You'd fought bigger guys for sure. But that's also not me saying that you're a fully fledged heavyweight yourself either.
Yeah. Honestly, and this is, I'm being very honest. When I got a call to fight Povetkin because it was a part of an eliminator. Now it's a chance to fight Vladimir Klitschko again. So, excuse me. So I'm thinking, man, okay, I'm gonna go fight this young guy. He's Olympic gold medalist, but he's all right. He's all right. 3 weeks before the fight, guess what happens? Separated rib again on this side. First time when I fought Ike, it was on this side. Boom, crack my rib. Argue with my wife. It's the same thing repeat itself. Steve Cunningham, who's the former cruiserweight champion, he was in training camp with me. So I don't even know if he knew. I didn't tell anybody. I stopped sparring. My father knew. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, damn, I cracked another rib. So I go back over there. My father stops the fight in that fight with Alexander Povetkin in the 11th round for no reason. I'm not hurt, nothing, but I had injuries. So he was like, and that one, it really was devastating. because the injury, I'm the guy, I don't turn fights down. I don't back out of fights. I'll fight you. I don't care. And I'm like, man, it happened again. And I'm like, nah, this is not for me. And then, you know, it was a great win for him. He beats another, I forgot another heavyweight, fast heavyweight. Then he fights Vladimir Klitschko after that.
Eddie Chambers.
And Eddie Chambers, yeah, and that one, I wish I could get that one back. Just, you know, when you're healthy, fighting healthy, and that's one thing about boxing. A lot of guys, hey, you gonna fight injured. I mean, that's why for me, I never been on fights because, you know,
especially like for you in your position, you didn't have much choice. You know, no one wanted to fight you anyway. So if someone signs on the dotted line, you've got to go through with it, or else you don't know when the next payday is coming, right?
Hey, every fight. I'm telling you, even when I was champion, if you ask Don King when I was champion, the same thing. Trying to get fights. You world champion, you can't get a fight. And you're like, man, you go through your career, everybody avoiding you, you can't get fights, and you're like, man, when is this gonna stop? But just part of the career, man. I like your shirt. The last is BRYD.
Hey, yeah. Hey, and then you make a life-changing decision then to lose 40 pounds to go down to 175, and you actually come in under 175. You come in at 174 to fight Sean George. Like, what is that? Is that you saying, right, well, you know, this is maybe where my natural weight is, this is where I should have been all along?
My whole thought was what you just said. I want everybody to know that I'm not a heavyweight, but even in doing that, when I went down to 175, I did all wrong. I was starving myself. I was running 14, 15 miles a day. I mean, I was just doing stupid stuff, stupid. Nobody watched me spar anything because I was getting my butt whooped. I had no energy. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? But I wanted to prove to people that I'm not a heavyweight, but I didn't know nutrition at the time. I just didn't know it. I didn't know how to lose weight. I thought I had to do all this different stuff, and I didn't. And I embarrassed myself.
So you absolutely crashed the weight. So you weren't eating much, and you were just doing basically cardio and sparring endlessly to try and shift the weight.
Yeah, it was bad. Matter of fact, it's on YouTube. 5 weeks before the fight, I was at the Bernard Hopkins from England. What's his name?
Gary Lockett.
No, Bernard Hopkins and
Joe Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe. I was at the weigh-in. I weighed 174 pounds there. Already. It was 5 weeks before my fight. And I was just doing stupid stuff, starving myself, not eating, it was just, nutrition was bad. And I was already real skinny. And I mean, I'm thin now. I probably weigh 160. I'm real small. 2 weight classes smaller than I was when I was at 175. And I look better. I look like a crack. I was just so skinny. But you know, you live and learn, man.
And then you had one fight in Germany in 2009, and you won that. And then that was it. Then we didn't see you again.
Yeah. I came down in pain for 11 and a half years. Chronic pain.
So, but you were over there sparring Vitali, right? Helping him get ready, and then you got on the bill.
Yeah, I was sparring with Vitali. It was funny because I sparred with Vitali. I just fought at light heavyweight. I had a massive shoulder surgery. I get a call from my lawyer saying, Vitaly Klitschko, if you want to still fight at heavyweight, Vitali Klitschko wants you to come over and spar with him. If you still want to fight a heavyweight, you can go and see if you still got it. If you want to go and spar, I had to think about it. I'm like, Cause I had just fought light heavyweight. Now I'm going back to fight a heavyweight. To spar a heavyweight. So I'm like, well, I'll do it. Man, I had so much fun sparring with Vitali. Oh my goodness. I mean, we had a great time. I even had a reporter email me and say, I was at Sparring today. Man, you still got it. I mean, I think you may have a chance to beat the champ. And I'm thinking, man, I'm back. So after that, I sparred really good. Vitali Klitschko, his group, they came to me and said, "Hey, we want you to fight in the card. I think you'll be really good." I'm like, "Okay, cool, that'd be great." Now I got something to train for. So I didn't know it was gonna be my last fight, but that was my last fight. Actually, if you look at my light heavyweight fight, when I fought light heavyweight, and my last fight, you'll go, "Oh yeah, he was sick." Just look at the two. It's two totally different people. Oh yeah, he still got it. He's not bad. That light heavyweight thing, people say, "Oh man, he's shot." And I'm thinking, no, I was just starving myself. So, and then after the fight, that's when I came down in pain after that fight.
Where was the pain?
The pain was, it started in my foot. I had nerve damage, neuropathy.
Okay.
And it spread up my leg, and then my joints, both my shoulders needed replaced, both of my hips needed replacement. I had a hip replacement, actually one hip replacement. So my whole body was just falling apart. I mean, it literally was just crumbling.
Wow, do you think getting ready for the Sean George fight was like the catalyst for this? Because obviously you talk about all that running, all that mileage, all that road work, and all that strain on top of everything you've done previously for the previous 25 years or so. Like, do you think that was the final straw, your body saying, forget this, like you've abused me too much now?
I thought that was it. I really thought, I trained so much, through my life, and you run, you do all this stuff. It wasn't it at all. For 25 years, from until I changed this, from 1993 to 2017, I trashed my body. I have put on so much. I put on so much weight, and then trying to keep the weight up is ridiculous. And to have in your mind, you can eat anything you want to eat. Now imagine that you can eat anything you want to eat and never have to. You don't worry about nothing. You just eating it because you got to keep weight up. Yeah. That finally got to me. I'm still eating the same way after boxing, and I'm slowly but surely, my body's just falling apart. And I'm like, what is wrong? Not even knowing that, is food contributing to your pain and what you're going through. I never knew.
All the inflammation and stuff, right? Mm-hmm.
Inflammation. So I go to a specialist. They scan my legs because the one leg got nerve damage. The foot is burning all the way down my foot now, all the way down my leg. One leg, my left leg was all inflammation. My right leg was 50%. I'm thinking, man, inflammation is the start of all disease. And I'm thinking, what? I'm sick, man. I must be getting sicker and sicker. How is that possible? And I got to make a change. I had so much inflammation in my body, in my joints, the arthritis in my joints, in my hips, in my shoulders. My foot is burning. I'm going crazy. I almost get arrested downtown Los Angeles. Lost my mind. six cop cars around my car. I lost my mind downtown Los Angeles, going crazy. It was they gave me some drugs to take. I think it was like Lyrica I was taking, yeah.
Like prescription drugs.
Drugs, yeah. And man, and come to find out, I can't take prescription drugs. So I'm sitting here after 20, I get diagnosed with this neuropathy like 2011. Can't take any pills. So I'm just taking the pain for years until I finally broke from 2011 to 2017. I had a mental suicidal crazy break, going crazy because the pain was bad, and got to make a change. I got to do something. I mean, I have to do something. So I started making major researching, studying, and man, came to a conclusion. You got to make a change. You got to change your diet. You got to change the way you think, your lifestyle, everything. Swipe it all away, clean it, get your life back. And it took a while, man. It took a lot of, it took my boxing, my years of boxing to get through this, because through boxing, I got through everything. It's challenges in boxing you got to meet all the time. Hey, challenges in life that I was meeting, boxing helped me get through it. I told myself, I'm a 2-time world champion. I'm Olympic silver medalist, 3-time US champion. You can do this, man. You can get out of pain, man. Get out of pain. And sure enough, got out of pain, brother.
Did I read that CBD helped?
Oh, CBD, it helped a lot. But cannabis in itself, more than high levels of THC is great for inflammation. And I was on high levels of THC at times, like high, super high dose. I'll be sleeping 2-3 days.
We did some interviews years and years ago that you probably don't remember, like when I was at Boxing News magazine, and I always went through your wife to set them up, and then you subsequently got divorced, right?
Yep.
How hard was that?
I was with my wife 27 years, and if you watch my boxing, you always seen her next to me. We were very close family, very close knit. But just going through all this pain, it took a toll. Just took a toll on the family, man.
She didn't want you to fight like those last couple of fights, did she?
Nah.
But what did you have? Did you have something in the basement, as Rocky would say? You still went?
Yeah. I mean, it's a boxer's. I'm not the guy that's gonna just keep fighting if I'm gonna get embarrassed, if somebody gonna beat me. If I'm in the gym and like when I fought light heavyweight, it wasn't that I was shot. It was nutrition. I didn't know what it was. But if I'm getting embarrassed to where my skills are, nah, I can't do it. And she didn't, at that time, it wasn't like that for me. It wasn't. She just thought it was because of the light heavyweight fight. And I was trying to tell her, you see me starve. You see what I was going through. But she just wanted me done at that time. And it's hard to give up something you love to do, or something you did since you were 5 years old. It's just hard to give it up, And I think a lot of, especially, a lot of athletes, but especially boxing, if, when you exit, you have somebody that can help you get through it, to slowly just, you wean yourself away from boxing. Because most boxers, their last fight is cut and dry. I mean, you're done fighting, and now it's like, okay, I'm done. What do I do? This has been my life for my whole life. What do I do now? I mean, and then for me, I boxed my whole life. I go through chronic pain. What do I do? I'm 11 and a half years of chronic pain. what do I do? I mean, life is like, it's crazy, you know.
How do you have pain now?
No, feel great, feel
That's
great. And I was in bad pain too.
because you've had so many metamorphoses. Obviously when we talk about you in the Galotta days, you were quite a stocky heavyweight with the hair and stuff, and then you obviously slim right down for the George fight, and then a few years ago I saw you with like a big long beard, and now the beard's gone. Like every time I see you, there's a different Chris Byrd, like a different thing. But um man, what a crazy story. So let me ask you a couple of things from what you just said. So you mentioned like the suicidal bits and stuff, and I would get that if you're living in extreme pain and you kind of want that to end, and
Yeah,
there's no end in sight. I can get how that happens. But also, like it happens with guys, whether it's from the NFL and football and obviously boxing. So many guys struggle with depression after
yeah,
sport, and some of it is obviously leaving the buzz behind, which you say, where do we go now? And the other thing is obviously CTE and the trauma and that kind of stuff. Like, have you factored that into your thought process about, like you said, taking punches from 5 years old all the way through to the end of the ride in 2009? Like, it's a long period of time. Even though I know you could say, oh, well, people didn't hit me, you still get hit.
yeah. You still get hit. People, you know, you get hit, but the thing is, how do you take care of yourself?
Yeah.
I've came back to boxing, man, be getting hit by these young guys, getting blasted, boom, getting hit, throwing. And this is a second career. My speech is good, my memory is good, my everything's good. And everybody say damage, damage, damage. Yes, it's a lot of damage, but it's a lot of damage outside of boxing with lifestyle that's more damaging than the boxing itself. And I'm a true testament to it. I'm not a guy that's defending boxing. Oh, you'll get hurt. Yeah, you get major. I mean, this is the one. It's a head sport. It's a damaging sport. I've seen guys messed all up, but then I start seeing, okay, I see why he's messed up. Boxing. Everybody say boxing, boxing. The punches, the punches. But I seen a guy that's every fight that's going to war and nothing wrong with him. I see my father who's 68 years old. He's 85 now, 86, just turned 86. He's starting to lose his memory. Starting to. How is that? And he fought with horsehair gloves. He has no eyebrows. He's been the sparring partner for everybody, getting beat all up, getting. Now you got to look at what are you putting in your body? How is your lifestyle? Are you always, in chaos with your wife, with your life, with all this? Is the food, the diet bad? Yeah, all that goes together. It's not just one thing. Because if you see a lot of boxers, nothing wrong. But we always point out the ones that's something wrong with them and say, this is a dangerous sport. But for every bad boxer, there's 20 of them that's doing really good. So,
Hey, I do agree with you in some respects. Like certainly when you factor in like life stress and when you factor in inflammation from sweet foods and sugary foods and stuff, like those are two hugely life altering things in terms of like you can make yourself really ill with stress and
yeah,
with and the food doesn't help again with your mindsets. If you're having sugary foods and stuff, then you're obviously high and then you're low and then you've got the sugar dump and everything else. So it's tough.
yeah. The chemicals, man, the chemicals in the food and what's in this stuff. Like when you study it, you're like, what? I'm not eating that. I'm not putting that in my body. Because if you really think about it, it's your body. And you go buy a product, you look at the ingredients. Just say it got 10 ingredients. Say it got 8 ingredients. 4 of them you know, but 4 of them you don't. You can't even pronounce. Why would you put that in your body? You can't even pronounce the word on there and you putting that in your body. That was me all day long. I didn't care. I didn't read the ingredients. I didn't know. And now you're sick. And now most of your country's sick because they're putting stuff in their body. They don't even realize it. They don't even understand what after you study this stuff, you like, man, why are people doing this? Now all of a sudden you're addicted. Your tongue, your palate picks up all this stuff. You like, oh, you eating all these foods and you never know why. Your back hurt, your leg hurt, you got neck, all these pains. Why? Think about what you put in your mouth. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, just three more. I'll let you get out of here.
Let's get it.
Talking about size and getting big, did PEDs ever get offered to you? Were people saying, look, come on, Chris, come on, look, let's get you up to 250?
Big time. Oh my
Really?
goodness. Oh, big time through my whole career. And shame on people who said I use PEDs. Oh man, you use PEDs. I'm like, I know, I didn't know anything about them until a boxer told me about it. A boxer told me. Matter of fact, a boxer that I fought before, that I fought during my career told me about PEDs. And when they told me, I said, man, you got to be crazy. What about the drug test? And what did he say to everybody and what everybody say to me? That's the first thing they say. What about the drug test, man? That drug test, no, you can't get past it. And he said, F the drug test. Everybody get past it. This is that. I mean, he's telling me all this stuff. And my mouth is like this.
Mine's like that right now. Wow.
And I'm still like this. In this dangerous sport, you got PDs running all, I mean, I was a coach for many years, like making my way as a coach before my pain got too much. I seen drugs all over the table. I seen stuff. I'm like, what? This is real. So when people talk about I'm the best, I do this and that, really? I never used drugs at heavyweight, never. And everybody, I mean, I ain't gonna say everybody, but there's a lot of major drug users that I fought. And I'm like, man, this is a dangerous sport and you using drugs? But shame on the committees, man. Y'all not doing a great job of testing and following. Man, if I'm fighting somebody, especially now, I'm following you at camp. I'm having somebody come to camp to watch you every day because I know what they do at camp. I know when you leave and you go in certain places, you getting injections, you doing this, you do. I'm like, I'm not stupid. How's that training camp? This is about money, popularity, about all that. This ain't about, being honest. Who cares? These guys don't care.
That's a pretty damning thing, but I get what you're saying. Hey, let me ask you this, changing gears. You and James Toney, do you guys ever cross swords? You're from the same neck of the woods. Like, are you pals or did you spar and did you nearly fight? And are you friends?
We never sparred. Good friend. Love James Toney. We talk trash during our time boxing, of course. But I respect James Toney big time. We're both from Michigan. And James, he wasn't like a major fighter growing up. He was decent. Wasn't like a major amateur, but turned out to be one of the best ever. That man can fight. I really respect him. Good dude.
Cool. And then one last one. Tell me about Alexander Usyk. Do you see much of him? The guy who beat AJ, obviously the southpaw. What do you make of him? A small guy who's doing well at heavyweight.
Small guy. Look, I'm sorry for laughing. Usyk, Olympic gold medalist. I watched him in amateur. He piqued my interest because he was left-handed, a little taller, can box, different style. Throw you off, man. He'll throw you off. Most of these heavyweights, they don't know how to fight lefties. And you get a lefty, he Olympic gold medalist, a smart lefty. He's not like a lefty just out there just fighting. No, he's smart. Know what he's doing, making you think, making you second guess every punch you throw. The man only weighed 220 in a big era, and he's shitting down big guys. That's the talent.
Do you think he can beat Fury? When you talk about big guys, obviously there are not too many bigger than Fury now.
Oh yeah. The Tyson Fury is really good, really good. But I looked at Tyson Fury honestly, and I said, man, I would love to fight Tyson Fury. I would love to have fought him, see if I could shut him down. Because they say he's slick, okay, but to me, I look at speed. Like he's slow to me, slow with feet, slow with legs. He's smart with all these heavyweights though. He's very intelligent with certain heavyweights. You could be intelligent because they fight a certain way. And I think, Usyk will, with his movement, because he's good with his feet. Tyson Fury kind of slow. So can he shut him down? Can he shut him down? Take away Tyson Fury's jab, start making Tyson Fury think about every punch he throw. And this is what Tyson Fury do to everybody else. Can he do it to Tyson Fury? And if he can, being a lefty heavyweight and taking the jab away, if he take the jab away, cancel Christmas. Because now how you gonna throw the right hand? He can't land the right hand because he got thrown off the jab. Now you got to throw lead the right hands, and that ain't gonna happen. So it'll be a great fight. I mean, that's one for it's a more of a mental than a physical fight. Because now you got to think your way through. And Usyk is moving. He's not just stationary, standing right there like a Deontay Wilder. He's moving, throwing punches. So now I can go through all this, the scenarios, but it'd be a great fight.
Chris, this has been great, man. I'm really grateful for your time and making the time to speak to me. I've got to say, there's been a lot of moments in this where I felt legitimately sad, but when you look back over your career, you achieved so much, you fought so many top names, and did you finish at the end of boxing? Did you finish satisfied with what you'd achieved? Because it's a hell of a career against the odds that you faced from the start too.
When I look back on it now, not being so selfish, it's like, yeah, but I wasn't satisfied at all. I'm a little guy, man. I moved up to 165 a year before the Olympics. I wasn't a 165 pounder. I wasn't a middleweight in the amateurs. So now I'm fighting at heavyweight. Really, what would I have done at middleweight? What would I have really done? Like, my goal was to fight a junior middleweight. I didn't even lose weight for my first fight. That's how bootleg our fights were. Like, we didn't lose weight. Me and my brother, we just weighed in what we weighed. We ate pizza that morning, donuts, and we wasn't even disciplined or nothing. So I wasn't satisfied at the end when I got. I was like, that's it. After all this is how my career gonna end up. Being Olympic, I look at Shakur Stevenson. Love that kid, Olympic silver medalist. I looked at his career as it just gradually just moving up, move the right way. The right way. You win Olympic silver medalist, you take care of the right fights. And I'm like, that's a great career. That's how it's supposed to be. So I wasn't satisfied with not at all.
So you could have, had you not done this crazy jump to heavyweight, you could have done a Roy Jones, light middle, super middle, light heavy, and then, and then wound up at heavyweight.
I would have did it all. I would have fought everybody. That would have been so much fun to fight, to watch Roy do what he did and see him go up. He fought everything but cruiserweight.
Yeah.
But if he did, oh my God, that would have been so much fun going up the levels to fight everybody, and then eventually win a heavyweight title. You were stood.
Yeah. He should have gone then, right? He should have gone after the Ruiz fight. It would have been a good way to sign off.
Yeah, but coming back down, maybe one. Yeah, but see, I look at boxers like that, going off the subject a little bit. I look at boxers like that. You got to have a game plan. So you go up to heavyweight. So what's your next stop?
What's the move? Yeah, what's your next move?
What's the move? You win the heavyweight title, but now you got all these heavyweights looking at you like, okay, yes, come on, little man. So now you're like, okay, I go back down. Do you really want to fight Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield at that time?
And Lennox, yep.
Lennox, you don't want to fight those. Klitschko, really? No. See, it's just like Paulie Malignaggi and not Paulie, I'm sorry, Adrian Broner going up to 147. Like guys moving up a couple weight classes. Now you got to stay in that weight class. You win, you champion, now you got to stay there. Now it's like, oh snap, what do I do now? Everybody gunning for you.
Yeah.
So, it's tough.
Well, Chris, it speaks volumes the fact that no one has been gunning for you for like 25 years because you were too good for your own good in many respects. But hey, I really appreciate you taking the time out to speak with me, and it's great to see you looking well. This new version of Chris that's looking very sleek and all the rest of it. Is the beard making a comeback?
Yeah, I love my beard, man. I loved it. I love it. I just couldn't, I think they were thinking I was too old looking to fight. We play that old man on TV, so
because you want to fight again, right?
Yeah.
At middleweight.
Yeah, middleweight, come back.
What is it, a one-shot deal, or see how it turns out?
Just see how it turns out. Man, we live one time, man. You get in there and fight. I've been training, been sparring, feeling good. Get a couple fights in, see how I feel. This is not life and death. I'm gonna kill myself. No, I'm having fun. One part of my life, I have fun. I didn't have fun in my first career, not at all. It was all stress. Now I feel great. If I get some fights, it would be great. The fans would be like, oh, man, you got this old guy in there. Let's see how you fight. Take care of myself. That's the number one thing. Take care of yourself. Knowing what you're going to do. If you have a plan to fight, I don't care if you're an old fighter, young fighter, anything. Health is everything. Career this long, if you're getting hit on, the body is not meant to be hit on. One, you're getting hit on and you eating bad too, and your lifestyle bad, all this stuff contribute to a downward spiral after your career. Big time. Big time. But if you take care of yourself, I've seen certain guys during their career, like a Bernard Hopkins, for instance. Vegan guy, always healthy, look good. Man, I'm always looking at him like, man, I never knew he was taking care of his body like that throughout his whole career. Until later, I'm like, that's how you live. That's how the human body should look always. That's how you should feel. Take care of yourself. Everybody take care of yourself. If everybody take care of yourself, we have a good world. There will be no wars.
Chris, man, thank you so much for your time. I'm grateful, man. It's been great to speak to you. And I wish you all the best moving forwards, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Can I give a shout out to my managers?
Yeah, man, of course.
They have this Paul and Tiffany Newtall. Man, they took me in. I went through chronic pain. They helped me out so much, and they got a show called Second Chance Saves Lives. Second Chance. I was on the show. Saves Lives, and it's a beautiful show that's coming out, man. It's gonna be so big. You'll see, inspirational stories of people having a second chance, and they are saving their lives. So I give them a shout out, and I'm blessed to just be here, man. And I give a shout out to my friend Tammy Thomas, who helped me out, helped me get back to this point. It's been great. So, blessings to everybody I just mentioned, everybody out in the world of podcast land that's watching this. Have your one life, people. You're watching this. Make it great. You only live one time. Go for your goals, your dreams.
Brilliant, Chris. Thank you so much for your time, man. I'm grateful.
Did it, man. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.